Hold on, hold on. Let me take a sip.
I really didn't want to get up this morning.
I could tell. Usually you're like on the dot. It's like 6:50 and you're like, let's go. I have a link. And I had to text you at 10 after. Like,
I know, but I was still sitting here. I'm just like slothly today. I know, like, when you've got so many tasks in your day and you just don't want to like get it started because once it's in motion, you're in motion and you don't want to be.
Like, once I get out of bed, that's it.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got like my annual meeting for the chamber today. It's like full on dog and pony, the first time they've sold out. And I feel like I have a small bit of purpose in this.
Oh, well,
for selling out the 200 tickets.
Is it like it's a meeting?
So they do this thing where they nominate people for specific awards, like Person of the Year is going to Cindy Jones, who happens to have started Heroes in Transition, that ruck for hit race that I'm going to be doing next month, where
all right, Cindy.
I'm driving, but I still have to remain awake for 2 full days.
This is
sure the runners.
This is the second year you've done this. You're
third. This is my third year.
So
and every year I say I'm never doing it again. And every year I do it again.
You did say that last year. Yeah. Yeah. That's funny.
And of course, this happens to be the same weekend that I have the dance marathon and 2 other nonprofits. Like Lily's out there DJing that same exact weekend. Family business, y'all. And she just got $1,000 prom dress. So she's working.
Yeah, she's going to work it off. So that's end of April. We were just talking about the dance marathon. That's end of April.
Yeah. Yes, that's the end of April. So like we've got a lot of wonderful things happening as spring is not arriving meteorologically. Why is it so friggin' cold?
Yeah, and why is everything going psycho right now? Like the news is bananas. My dad and I were talking about how it like looks like an SNL skit when you turn on the news. Like
100%.
Whatever's going on with this eclipse season is psycho. I did not know what to do when I was flipping through and it's like, a bridge collapsed. Trump is selling Bibles for $59.95. And then Diddy. And you're like, what in the world?
And, right? Quiet on the Set we'll get to on Friday. Like I have to be mentally prepared for that as I'm watching these shows.
Oh my God.
It's a whole lot. And my husband yelled at me yesterday. He's like, why did you start watching this? And I was like, I needed to watch it. He's like, but now I can't not watch it.
I know. I don't know if I have the stomach to handle it. I'm a little nervous.
I'm almost done with it. I fell asleep last night because I just was so exhausted, but it's traumatic.
So that's my concern is like, is it going to bring up more trauma or can I get through it for the sake of the pop culture moment?
And I mistakenly made the idiocy of clicking on something to do with it on my social media. So that's all you get. All I have. That's all I have. I'm like, oh my God. I'm going to have to just click the does not compute to me. But like, no. I don't want to see any more of this. Because now every single day it's a new cast member with their new bombshell stuff. And I'm like, how did this go on?
Well, there's a lot of cast members that haven't come forward that worked in that Nickelodeon space for a long time that haven't commented or said anything. So I'm kind of interested to see where it goes. Like Ariana Grande was all up involved in that era, and she's not. Although she's got a new album out, she's probably like, "Please get this away from me and my album sales, thank you."
But it's all of them are like, "I'm fine, everything's fine." I meanwhile, their entire everything is crumbling, and you just watch it. It's really upsetting, and also a lot of the dialogue and the behavior is stuff that I encountered in my industry. So it is like it's very difficult.
Well, that's why I wondered if I needed to watch it. Like, I was obviously in like a completely different industry, but like something.
It's the same. You're young and you're impressionable, and it was the time before somebody spoke up and said, "This is gross and you're bad."
Yeah, what was very, very good about the ballet world is it, like most of my teachers, it was very women driven. So like I never felt like safe. You know, there weren't a lot of like predatory men in my youth. I will say like that came much later in my career. So by that time I was not like young and in middle school age where we were dealing with that portion. So I feel very protected from the ballet world. But the parental side and the abuse side later was like excessive.
Yep. And it's awful. And just being in a male dominated industry for about 30 years, I can tell you that it was just, ugh.
I'm sure.
A lot of it. And I'm like, oh my God, I have a similar situation. And of course, the names are like very similar too. And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. I flipped out on your boss. Like one of the
he
first
happened to be yours at the time also.
Well, that's why I said yes. But like he was such a I literally looked at you and I was like, listen, this is not like I don't have the patience to deal with this.
Oh my God. And Tori, you know what?
You did, but no.
Honestly, because he was so vanilla compared to what I've already dealt with. Like he was just like a drop of a bucket of a whole fireman hose worth of crappy people I have dealt with my entire life in that industry.
I just remember saying to you, like, Stephanie, this is not normal. Like, this is not okay.
And
like,
I find it very telling.
This is not okay.
A little bit of insider baseball that we started talking about last episode.
Oh, yeah.
That since that shakeup in the local scene for radio, I've heard from all of the females that have reached out to me. Now, one of which I've never worked with and I've never even seen in person in real life.
Yeah.
So that goes to show you the amount of like support that we need but never say that we need. So we will jump into the quiet on the set a little bit on Friday. I feel like I'm easing into it and like peeling off a band-aid slowly. So I wanted everybody to know that yes, we have a pop culture podcast and yes, we know it's the biggest show that everybody's talking about. But also for our own protection, we're going into this gingerly.
Well, listen, I don't know if I'm going to watch it, truthfully. I don't know if I can handle it. So maybe save that if you want to come on and talk about it next week when I'm in Puerto Rico. That's
maybe I will.
Use that for our content because I'm going to miss a couple episodes. So come on and talk about it. That way I don't feel pressured to watch it because I'm not going to use my day off to traumatize myself. I'm sorry.
We all have to do what we can do. I feel like it should be addressed and we're addressing it here. It's just we're not really ready to get into it. So we'll get into it when we do.
Let's get into what's roasting.
Yes, please.
A little bit of local Boston news. The last Friendly's has closed.
Really sad.
I don't know why this hit home so hard. Like, I was not even like a Friendly's girl, but like, it just is a sad day. Like, I knew they were going away. And I also didn't know that the only one left was in Logan Airport.
I'm not sure. They've been slowly getting rid of them, just like all of the other things. I'm like, oh, there's got to be someone in another town. No, there's not. This is it.
The last surviving Friendly's restaurant in Boston has closed its door for good. The Friendly's inside Terminal A at Logan International Airport is now boarded up and no longer taking orders.
That little happy face sundae was the joy of my childhood. I got to tell you.
They had like a monster sundae.
Yeah, it was so cute. We loved them. And it wasn't even about the food, although the food was always pretty decent. It was known for having the worst service ever, no matter which one you went to.
Yeah, it's Boston. Yeah.
No matter what. Well, we had one in Hyannis. We had one right over the bridge. We had one in my hometown growing up.
Although I will say that building is now the Knack, which like highly recommend.
We're okay with
that. The Knack
is
so good.
You know what? Serving similar food, but just way better. So
yes. Yeah, exactly. Yep. They turned it into a Buffalo Wild Wings though, which I was like, of course they did. Right. And also, who goes to Terminal A and then is like, you know what I really want? Buffalo Wild Wings.
I think you don't really care because you're on vacation. Bring on the beer. I think that's more friendly to the travelers.
That's true. That's also how they get away with charging like $14 for a beer.
Right? $20 beers. Here we go.
Listen, I'm like a week away, so don't kill my vibe.
I am not. You're going to go in there and you're going to order your $20 beer and be on vacation like everybody else. That's what you do.
It's a drink at the airport, a drink on the plane, and then I've arrived.
Perfect. Yep. I'm so jealous for you.
All right. Well, I wanted to start the episode off a little bit light before we get into
the whole Diddy situation.
Do you remember? We reported on how Cassie was suing him and then it settled. So this is crazy to kind of see it.
Well, then more and more started pouring out. And they, he really tried to, or his people tried to steer the media.
I think it's absolutely insane. The last report was that he came out and he was like, oh, these allegations are false. Nothing's ever happening. I'm like, do you know how hard it is to get, I think, two different judges, because the homes are in two different states.
Right.
To both sign off on a search warrant that you have no idea is occurring in your home and then plan an attack by federal agents to go in. Like, do you know how much
It was a
effort?
raid.
Yes. But like legally, they have to have so much suspicion and so much evidence of
There
suspicion.
was a lot of getting their ducks in a row before this occurred. For sure.
This has been going on for a month, and like
Yes.
probably prior to even any of these cases coming out. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if these cases came out because the federal agents started working on it and they were trying to control the media or whatever it is. But I was trying to say to people who, you know, maybe don't quite understand how this works a lot. Like, you need so much evidence to be able to convince a judge that like it is okay to go into this person's privacy, because home protection is like so focal. Property is so focal. Privacy of property is so focal, especially in like a state like Florida. Like, it would take so much evidence and almost like like without a ton of reasonable doubt to be able to be like, nope, this is what we need to do to kind of go and solidify this case. So Diddy done did. It was not
50
great.
Cent was really enjoying it. He's like, when the feds are swooping on you like that, you're already done. Diddy done.
Yes, exactly. And his plane immediately disappeared and immediately went to where Anguilla or something, like plane like gone, private plane gone. I was like, Diddy has enough wealth.
I heard Anguilla, I heard Barbuda, I've heard like he's gone. His sons, drug mules, like sex trafficking, like you name it. Like all of the things have been allocated and alleged. All of it.
Yeah, not great.
I don't think anybody's surprised by it, but also like, why did it take so long?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it money? Is it charm?
I don't know.
Status? Like, I feel like people in high status area, it's finally happening where you can't get away with what you think you can get away with just because you have money.
Yeah, I definitely think things are starting to come out more and more. I mean, like we talked about how in New York that window for sexual assault allegations was closing. So that could have something to do with it. But as cases start to increase and it promotes more cases to come out, et cetera, in that state or in adjacent states. So I would say that's probably a factor. But I think there's also like a generalized understanding now that like people are not invincible. Yeah. Like, just because you have money and just because you have power does not mean you're invincible. And I wonder if like our political landscape and seeing who has potential to become in power has like a influence on that, trying to be like, we're trying to prevent people like this from gaining more power. So what can I do in my life? What did I experience to be able to come forward and say something? Can't control that situation, but what can I control? And in the process, it's taking down some crazy, crazy cases.
And I think it's so gross that he's involved his kids. Like, family business, everybody. A little bit different than mine.
30. His kids are what, 25 and 30?
Right.
So they're adults. Like, they don't know any different.
No, because they were raised like that. No one's to stop them either. I'm sure they're tyrants of humans. I'm assuming, I'm just making a judgment from the outside, but
yeah, it doesn't look good.
Probably not great people because they were raised by one.
Do you think Cassie's sitting at home like?
They all are. Somebody even posted a photo of, who was it the other day? Somebody else that was always in a constant feud with Diddy. Faith Hill or Faith Evans, rather.
Oh my God.
Faith Evans like floating around a pool smiling. And they're like, she's psyched.
Perfect.
Because she had always had an issue with like that whole Diddy relationship with Puffy and with Biggie. And how that ended up like kind of dirty, and he took money from Biggie that he shouldn't have. And there was like a whole bunch of stuff like best friends, but he robbed him blind.
I don't know any of this stuff.
So yeah, like there is a lot of people sitting back going, with popcorn, watching how bad this gets, because they've known for years and no one did anything about it.
So then there's the potential, and I've thought about this a lot. Like, is Hollywood just in adjacent entertainment industries like just one big pedophile ring?
It's just toxic, period. I feel
and
like
then if it is, like, who's at the top?
Money.
But like there's got to be like one celebrity that's like running this shit.
You think?
Yeah,
You think it's one big pyramid scheme?
Yeah, I have my theories. Why not?
Somebody that's teaching them poorly.
You never know. You never know. And like, we don't really know if we landed on the moon. Let's just like dump into all these conspiracy theories.
By the way, I'm really, since we're talking about the moon, digging your headset right now.
Listen.
It's almost Cindy Lou Who-like.
I know. I got all new equipment, which I'm really excited about.
You sound awesome.
Santa came. He got me like a really fancy Shure mic in a full setup. Like, it's going great.
Nice.
The headphones, though, as an older brother, aka Santa, like did not take like aesthetics into account. So we got to figure this situation out. But listen, I also can't, they're noise canceling. I can't hear a thing. I'm like, I have no idea how loud I'm talking. I have no idea what's happening in the world. The alarm could be going off.
Oh, you sound great. So you're winning.
So we'll just have to work.
I love it.
We'll figure it out. Anyway.
All right. So we've got an update on our Selling Sunset story.
Yeah, the husband came out and said, I didn't do anything, and then tried to give like an elaborate story of what actually happened. I don't believe it. That's all. That's all I came to say. I don't know. You sound like a man who's been abusive and is spinning a story. You sound like a man who's trying to cover his tracks.
This is really what this conversation or this whole day has been about, is really just, it's all BS. Like, stop lying to us.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Isn't that what this full moon is supposed to be about right now? The truth is coming forward and we're releasing things into the universe. Maybe that's why it's so chaotic right now.
It is absolute chaos. Yeah, I don't know what Trump selling Bibles has to do with that. Bringing the truth out. But yes. I'm sorry.
Is that the benefit to his truth social media?
I'm sorry.
The one social media I'm not on.
We're not a political podcast, but that does err on the side of pop culture stupidity. So.
Okay. Speaking of which, Gisele is now saying and talking candidly about the rumors surrounding her split from Tom Brady.
Again, something else I don't believe. Like, you're also full of shit.
I don't believe it either.
No way. That's a lie. Talking about how she did not start a romance with her jiu-jitsu trainer.
Or maybe she's just lying to herself. Like, the groundwork to the build of that relationship was definitely happening while she was married to Tom Brady.
100%.
There's no effing way that just turned on romantic when I'm going through my divorce.
And listen, hot take, like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you bonded and connected with somebody outside of your relationship and your marriage, there is nothing wrong with that. You can't do anything about it.
Right.
The point in being loyal to your marriage is that you continuously be loyal to your marriage and that you are faithful to that marriage, right? So she could have remained faithful to Brady through the end of their relationship and still found a connection, a soul connection, a romance connection with somebody else, and just not addressing it until her relationship was over, right? So, like, you don't have to say, like, there was no relations. Like, of course, yeah, it's a lie. You were not dating him. You were not romantically involved in him. But, like, there's no way. You meet somebody, there's a spark, something happens, the groundwork is laid. We've been there. We've all been there a million times. We meet somebody and something happens. Like, what you choose to do with that brings it back to your marriage. But it doesn't necessarily mean that, like you said, the groundwork was not laid.
Oh, 100%. So, yeah, she's like, I don't want to make my life a tabloid. Well, you already did.
Then don't become a model. Did you think about and don't marry Tom Brady.
Look at me here, but don't look at me here. But look at me, but don't look at me.
Wait a minute. You don't want to become a tabloid. However, you decided to enter the modeling and the entertainment industry. You married Tom Brady by breaking up a relationship with, like, the New England's Golden Girl and the kids that he had. That he had, like, sweetie. It just
you started dating somebody that was that impregnated somebody else. Bridget Moynihan was pregnant. It was terrible.
Yeah.
But don't look at me.
It's like, we talk about it all the time. The, like, Megan Fox, like, I don't want to be seen as a sexualized woman, and then she walks out in, like, no clothing and, like, just like tassels over her boobs, and you're like, hey, great.
I love that she said her relationship is very different. It's very honest and very transparent. Okay.
Like, subtle. Is that a dick? We weren't sure.
Such a dig.
And by the way, Brady's just, like, keeping his head down. These documentaries come out about his career and his life in the Patriots. Head down, no comment. Like, he's just like, I'm a dad. I retired.
That's it.
My thing. I'll figure it out later. He's just, like, saying zero,
yeah.
which I love.
Well, because I feel like he doesn't have that testosterone, adrenaline rush thing that you get from playing sports. I feel like it comes along with this like tremendous hormone.
I think he's just like stepping away. Like he's not in the limelight anymore. And he's like, oh, actually kind of decent over here. So
right. This is good for me. Yeah. This is a positive space for me and I'm enjoying my life.
But he was also not the kind of football player to like comment on every little thing. Like he was always blowing up the media and kind of just going to play. Like it was not really his scene anyway. But
yeah. No, he definitely learned that from his mentors over there on the Patriots.
Totally.
I'm excited for this new baby. I love these two together, Suki Waterhouse and Robert Pattinson.
Okay, but they look the same to me. Like this is a perfect example of one of those couples that look like you're attracted to people that look like you, or like when people end up with dogs that look like them. Like this couple is a great example of that.
Why are you guys starting to look exactly the same?
But like they kind of did before, like they have a similar, like they both have like very square faces,
yeah,
like the same bone structure, the same like physical structure. Anyway, I'm sure that baby's really cute, but I'm saying it was like an easy G mashup. That's all I'm saying.
Either that or it looks really weird, alien-like, because that's what happens. Either two beautiful people make a really ugly kid, or it's like stunning.
Yeah,
it only goes two ways.
Great.
Seriously, though.
Oh, yeah. And then a really funny story. I know, like I said, we're not a political podcast. However, since we touched on this a little bit, we might as well end the show with this quick tidbit I thought was absolutely hysterical. I can repost it to the Instagram, but I thought
it's really good. Yeah.
35-year-old man in Texas has legally changed his name to literally anybody else. And he will attempt to run for president against Trump and Biden. So there's a fill-in section on your ballot where if you write in literally anybody else,
it'll be this guy.
He exists.
I'm down for it.
I love it.
America has a chance to make the funniest thing happen. What must we look like to the world, honestly?
I know. Well, we already are like, Europe is immediately like, we don't really trust you guys. We're gonna go back to visas.
It's already out there anyway, honestly. Nothing we can do about it.
I was reading about how in 2021 or 2022, the US passport was ranked like 9th in most powerful passports in the world. And this year we're ranked like 58. Like just like
we don't want it. No one admits to having one, but they have one. I'm Canadian. Let me see your passport. No,
I know. So it's gonna be like, I'm an American. Oh, bummer. Like,
all right. So Wednesday's our weird news story, and I've got a weird news story, but it's just a good breakup news story. So I think it's just woman dumbfounded after her plumber boyfriend steals her toilet after they break up.
Oh my God, how superb of him.
A woman doesn't know whether to laugh or cry after her plumber boyfriend
did you do?
Stole her toilet.
Girl, you cheated, didn't you?
She decided to end things with her boyfriend because he doesn't pay his way and refuses to tip service staff. Both traits she doesn't want in a long-term partner.
Agreed.
That is very fair.
Agreed, but she also cheated on him. This is like the plumber's version of Carrie Underwood. For sure.
She said, I guess this resurfaced on Reddit. I split with my boyfriend yesterday. I fell asleep while he was packing and he stole my toilet. He's a licensed plumber, so he knew what he was doing. I won't lie. You
slept through somebody taking a toilet out of your home,
right?
Like unscrewing it and then you slept through it?
She said, I won't lie. I've been laughing about it too. Every breakup gets more and more interesting. She said nothing makes more sense because he's the cheapest MFer I've ever met in my entire life. And it was his idea to get this expensive toilet.
Oh my God.
That she had to pay for.
Oh my God.
This is the equivalent of I'm taking my ball and I'm going home because I didn't get my way.
I know. I do think it's a little bit of like slashing the tires though. Like what did
100%.
His little bit of revenge. She can't help but laugh, but
yeah, right. Exactly. So now she's gonna go find another plumber. Maybe that plumber will be the romance she needed in her life.
Let's try a different industry, my friend.
It's all just down the drain. It's terrible. It's just not good.
Down the drain.
Have you ever taken anything, though, from an ex that you were like, bleep that, he's not having that? I took his stuff. I took one of my boyfriend's stuff one time, and then I chopped it up into little pieces, and then I burned it. I had my moment.
Yeah. No, 100. Yeah. Yeah. I took all the furniture that we had. We were in a place and then left the place very shortly before the breakup. And I look back on that now and I'm like, oh, you were so willing to get out of that situation with me. I wonder why. Anyway, so all the stuff was in my house because I had a bigger storage place. So I literally was like, I'm keeping it. Like, we're not doing like an exchange of furniture. Like, I don't care if you paid me half. I don't care. Like, this is staying in my home now. And there was some outdoor furniture. His family tried to get back from me so that he could have it at his new place with the new girlfriend that he cheated on me with. And I was like, that's 1000% not happening.
Bonfire time. Who's coming over, everybody?
Oh my God. No, I still use it every year. It's sitting on my deck. I was like, if your aunt wants it, fine. But like, I'm not like giving it to you so that you can now sit on it at your new home with the girl you cheated on.
Yeah, you're not going to be happy over there.
That's not happening.
If you want to share with us your Carrie Underwood moments or your use of furniture that you lovingly sit on every time and remember the scene where you've won,
That's great.
please share it with us on the pod. We love your feedback. Get perky with us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
And follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The First Shot Morning Show. Happy Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of
the First Shot Morning Show is produced by Lemonadio. When life gives you lemons, make radio. We encourage everyone to listen happier.com.